All right, hello everyone. Wow, I'm gonna try that again.
Aloha.
Yeah. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
So
Hello,
Brian's
Moose.
from Team Dakota. I'm from the community,
Yeah.
and we're here with the 45th episode of the SparkCast.
That's crazy. We're 5 away from 50.
Yep, the Big 5-0. Uh, and we're just gonna talk a little bit because I noticed there is a little bit of a ad that plays at the start of the stream. It,
Yeah, right now my ad is showing someone who loves cybersecurity. Oh, it's a university. Okay.
well, that'll explain it. Universities do love cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So the start of the stream is gonna be hopefully soon. Is
It's
the ad
it's
done?
it's appearing. Yeah, it's on for me.
Okay, good.
We can cut the chit chat
All
now.
right, so
They're
the
listening in. Oh no.
the special announcement that was teased before this is actually the very first mini jam hosted by
What?
ProjectSpark.org.
Okay, .org. I was like, what are we doing?
What are you doing? No. So it's not as big as a game jam, and it's going to focus around the content and feature releases of Project Spark. So this first one will be the thing that was leaked a few
Huh.
streams ago:
Yeah.
leaderboards.
Yeah.
So they haven't announced the start date, the release date for leaderboards, but they've hinted at it to me, so I'm comfortable saying that this is a good time to start it.
Wait until we tell you that. Actually, it's not coming out till December, so it's going to be a really long contest.
Yes, well, it'll give people plenty of time to prepare. No,
Yeah.
so the idea is going to be there are a few rules and whatnot. Well, it starts right now, so you guys that are watching actually get a head start. And the setup is it has to be in teams of 2 or 3 people. You cannot do this solo. Period. That's a rule. Um, you have to be. It has to have some kind of scoring or timekeeping system that will uh, be, you know, rankable, so that when leaderboards come in, you can have something to uh, put into the leaderboards and make use of them.
Yeah. Here's this. You're really going out on a limb. We've not shown like anything about leaderboards except for the two things that accidentally leaked last week. So,
Well, listen, I have faith in the community that they're going to come up with cool stuff.
right.
The competition is going to end a few days before the leaderboards are released, and the team that wins, 2 or 3 people, are going to get the leaderboards as soon as they're released. Day
Yep.
one.
That's where we come in. Yeah. Paradox News brought this idea to us. We were like, that's really cool. Let's go for it. And the funny thing is, we told, and he asked us, so can I know when Leaderboards is releasing so I can know what the end date is? And we were like, nope, you can't. So you know when it starts, but not when it ends.
I have a okay idea, but I'm
Yeah,
not allowed to
I
say.
like we can say it's going to be within the next few weeks. I can say that it's going to be sometime within the next few weeks. We're weeks away from it, not months away from leaderboards releasing Project Spark. We'll have more on that tomorrow during our stream on our Thursday stream. Yeah.
And also, the winners will also get 50,000 credits apiece. I have the codes for that. Don't worry about
Oh
that.
right. Okay. I was like, what did I do not remember this?
Yes, well, we have a lot of excess codes that were supposed to be given away for promotion, but people weren't promoting their game jam entries as much as we expected them to. So, hooray, free credits for people. And there are a few like other things in there. I will be posting an article on .org with the full rules, stuff like that. But short version is don't use melee combat and don't make an 3D action adventure game.
So basically, you have to collaborate with a few people, and you can make any game you want to, except not the games Moose hates because.
Because I'm going to be judging, and I don't want to judge games I hate.
So like make any game you want to, and it has to just have some form of scoring so that it can utilize leaderboards.
Whether
That's
the
like the
scoring
basic
be
premise of it.
times or points or kills, whatever.
Right. And the only thing people currently know, based on what was leaked last week, where we meant to hint at it, and we got a bit too happy with all of our hinting and hinted too much by actually accidentally showing it, is yes, there is basically you're going to be able to show scoring. We're going to go over that more tomorrow. But yeah, so anything like any sort of scoring in your game, you can make that work with leaderboards.
And I guess the other thing is Team Dakota is encouraged to participate, but you guys won't be winning the prizes.
Ah, darn. Actually, I think I have a few of my old stuff that I'm going to go back through. That's a question I have is can people go to their old stuff and add leaderboards into it, or does it have to be new stuff?
Well, considering you guys aren't going to be adding leaderboards because it's not competition is going to end before the release of leaderboards.
Hmm.
You're not going to be adding leaderboards to them. But you
Yeah.
can use old content. But if all you do is polish up existing stuff that has already been released, don't expect to win.
I see. Okay. Right. So you're making a game with scoring that could work really well with leaderboards, and then when leaderboards launches, then you
The
will
winning
get.
team will get the leaderboards.
Yep, everyone on the team will get leaderboards pack for free, unlocked day one, right when it launches.
Indeed.
Hmm.
And we'll be hearing more about the specifics of leaderboards tomorrow, or just the release date, or what.
You'll be learning some tomorrow. We actually also have tutorials planned. We're going to be doing a few tutorial streams, so everyone knows how to really utilize this. It's going to be real. I mean, we're really excited, and I don't want to say anything else until because it's Jeff's baby. He's been working really hard on this, so I want to save it for him to talk about everything there, and for us to really cover it tomorrow. But just yeah, I guess the cat's out of the bag there, so I can just say that we're really excited for when we can talk more about it. So you have that.
I was just typing into chat for someone who is having some stutter issues on the stream, so they couldn't actually hear what was going on.
Ah.
Yeah. So, what else is going on in the community this week, Brian?
Uh, I don't know. You're part of the community. You tell me.
Well, the feeds, of course. You've been doing a lot of work on the feeds.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a softball, and you just kind of whiffed at it.
Yeah, we've really been doing a lot of feeds work, especially over the past week. For those of you who haven't frequented Project Spark, the feeds in Project Spark that much in the past week, here's what's new. There is a Conquer feed for all the top-rated Conquer games that are out there. So all the Conquer fans who want to see what other Conquer games people are building, it's really awesome. Like I think one of my favorites right now is that JRPG by ex Lupinos, because you can summon Cthulhu and like Conquer JRPG where you can summon Cthulhu is like awesome. It's just such a great idea. So even Chris Seaver actually tweeted about it. He thought it was hilarious. By the way, cool thing, the guy who voiced the Great Mighty Pooh, he actually checked out Mr. X Bob's The Great Mighty Pooh level and loved it.
Well, what's not to love? It's the Great Mighty Pooh over again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually
Uh,
watched some videos of the original and thought it was pretty close. It was a little bit. The original fight was a little bit longer, like with a little bit more repetition to it, but the context was basically the same.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, Chris Marlowe, as Chad from DK Vine says, um, awesome, awesome person. Like I think Conquer fans who are here can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was the only non-rare employee who was a voiceover for Conquer. Everyone else was basically Chris Seaver and Louise. I'm blanking on her last name. That was pretty much it. But anyways, that's a tangent. Side note. So yeah, we got a Conquer feed. Lots of cool Conquer stuff there. We have a recently updated feed so that if your game, say, even if your game came out like 9 months ago and you've been working on a cool new feature that goes into your game, like a great example I was thinking about is Dark Minds, that guy who was working on Dark Minds for months and months. If I don't think he's updated it. I think the last time he updated was like 2 months ago. So if he were to put out a new update, then that would appear in our feeds. So that I think will be a really nice feed because I know I just want new ways to see what kind of has been updated. And then we've also been working on each of our feeds to just make them a bit better. And there's a few feeds where like we're allowing good remixes back into them. So we're doing lots of feeds work. We know it's been a top community request, and I think if you look just in the past week, there's still lots of work that will need to be done over the next few weeks to make it to make them great feeds. But I'd say there's definitely been an improvement over the past week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually excited for the update feed because I didn't know that was even possible.
Oh, the guy who did the voice of the Great Mighty Pooh worked at Rare. Oh, interesting.
So Brian doesn't know everything about Conquer, evidently.
I thought, yeah, I was totally wrong. I thought he didn't. I thought like they actually had a famous voice actor do it. That is completely wrong, though.
But I was going to say, I actually had updated Gradius Fox a few times, but I had to take it off the feeds and then re-upload it in order to
Right.
have it be shown again, be visible to people who hadn't seen it before. The problem with that was a lot of people thought I've already seen this, and they didn't know it was an updated version, so it was actually better than the one they tried before. But with the updated feed, that way the people actually know this is the same person. This is not a remix by somebody else, and it's updated so it's better. So they might want to try it again.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely. We're really, I mean, really listening to the community feedback on just feed stuff. And we're implementing based on lots of stuff that the community's been asking for. So yeah.
So the next topic I wanted to bring up was actually also based on community feedback, where instead of us saying to you guys, this is what features we need, we're phrasing it as, these are the dream games we want to make, and then you guys can infer what needs to be done to make them, rather than everybody saying, oh yeah, you know what, I would like that in general in Spark, as opposed to, that would be part of the game that I want to make. So the question out there to everybody in chat, as well as on the .com forums, was, what dream game do you want to make? How would that dream game actually function?
Right.
So you used to
It's
be
a
a community member. What was your answer to this?
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I actually always had a game idea in mind from. I actually came up with it even before Project Spark came out. As soon as I saw Project Spark at E3, I was following along with it. E3 2013, I was following along with it, seeing just from the streams what you could make in it, and I was actually scoping my idea around that. And I scoped it too big for things that weren't included in there. But now, actually, my game. I guess because from the outset I was always thinking I want to build this inside of Project Spark. It's a bit different, but it's the only thing that's really missing for me personally is bringing in the music that I create into like in a high fidelity way into Project Spark. Besides that, I and my voice acting.
Yeah, you
I've
need to get
been
a new voice.
I've been working on lots of really crazy voices actually. Like
All
I
right,
was
now
a
it's time to
bit.
embarrass Brian. Go ahead and do some of your
No,
voices.
no, no.
No,
I
you
am
have to
not a
do some of your
fan of that.
voices. You're not getting away with this.
No,
I will kick
I
you off
am
the stream, Brian.
I
Do
am
one funny voice.
so what I'm actually gonna do is because like these voices are so crazy, I'm gonna bring my laptop with me and like drive somewhere far away from everywhere else and then record all my voices on my laptop in my car where no one else can definitely hear me. And then I will like bring that back and like
No, we're
import.
waiting.
No. No,
Yes, one
they're like the
voice.
craziest voices.
We need one
Uh,
voice right now.
the, and it's not like
Yes, do a voice.
it's not like the I'm a magical space wizard voice. That's just my normal voice, just sounding a bit funnier. But I have a voice for an I guess I'll give this away. I have a voice for an Italian dragon. That
You
I've been
can't
working
stop. You
with.
cannot try that. Get away with not saying that voice now.
No,
Yes.
I need to practice that voice before I whip it out. But yeah, an Italian dragon. No. It's this like high pitched Italian guy sound. Yeah, but
It's me, Spyro.
it's, something like that. Yeah.
All right, fine. Well, I did the stupid voices instead of Brian. Somehow that worked out. I don't know why. All right. So my dream game, I've posted on the forums. It's way too long, but basically, turn-based combat for a real-time strategy game. High fantasy setting, a lot of classes, a lot of different races, and I needed every race to be able to be every class, which meant I needed every race to wear every piece of armor, which we don't have in Spark at the moment unless I were to use attachments, and attachments don't look as good as the character model armor, so that was something I was hoping for. And like you said, music, that was going to be a big thing. In fact, that's going to be the next topic after this is Spark music.
Sure.
In fact, let's play some good video game music right now.
I just hear clicking.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a song.
No, you don't hear this, but I'm actually playing Child of Light right now.
Oh, the stream is hearing it, not
Yes.
me. Okay.
So not you.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
yeah, one of my favorite is what's his first name? Something Wintery, the guy who did the soundtrack for Journey. That's like one of my all-time favorite video game soundtracks.
well, it's interesting you should mention that. That one's actually next up on the playlist right now. Not that you can hear it, but this is what Brian was referring to. And music is like so important for video games because it provides atmosphere, not just and tone, not just background music for the person to listen to or listen to when they're offline. But it has as much part of it as the game as the mechanics that are used or the visuals that are presented.
Yes, music is awesome. As most people know, I'm a huge music guy. I mean, on my free time, I make some of my own music. I'm a lover of almost all video game music. Really, the only kind of music I don't listen to, sorry for any fans of this music, but I don't listen to country music. Every other type of music I love.
I'm sure we can find some country music for you to listen to.
Doubtful.
Well, what about that one the song in the Geico commercial?
Oh, where they're hitting the banjos?
No, I was thinking about when he was in the bar and
Oh, in Texas?
yeah, and him dancing.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
It's not terrible. I mean, I don't like country, but I like that song. I think it's called by Wrinkled Neck Mules or something. I looked it up once. Yes, more quality music in Spark. In fact, more music that is music in Spark, not just sound effects that are made by instruments, where every once in a while you hear don 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 don,
Yeah.
bam 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 bam, doo 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 doo, wham, and then call that a song because it has music in the title. But are we gonna see more music in Spark?
What do I want to say that? Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. You will definitely. I mean, we're not going to stop our music, just like we're not going to stop content that we're putting in. I mean, for me that I would love to bring my songs into Project Spark too, and we know that's a top request of users.
By
so
you.
I'm. Yeah, top request by me. So yeah, we're looking into stuff like that. Or I am, and then saying like, is this possible? But there's huge things to answer when you look into that. So I'm not sure what the future holds for that. But we're definitely you will at some point in the future see at least us bring in different music options. I think you saw it with the Conquer pack. You had all the great Conquer music. Like the very nostalgic Conquer music, which is the windy theme music, the birdie theme music, but then also I think like the most versatile song are like Rock Solid is like awesome for so many occasions. That's the dance song, and then also the Teddy's Camp song is another really nice song that fits with a lot of. If you're making like a modern themed game, it fits with that really well.
I remember watching Charging My Lasers trailer for Invasion 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And thinking, the music doesn't really match his game, and I think that's the closest music that you could have for that level.
Yeah, he's using the like those older the songs have been in since really early in beta. Those like I don't know what kind of genre to call them.
It was more funky electronic type
Yeah, I guess
stuff.
electronica is like the closest you can get to it. Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but it is what it is for now. I mean, it's been on the request list, so we just don't know where it is on like the roadmap or the totem pole of requests
Right.
to have like a music editor. Or so there's a bunch of different ways to attack music in Spark. It could be either
Sure.
you guys providing it, you guys giving us more instruments to use to make music out of code, which I'm not sure how many people would be able to make functional. Then there would be a music editor, music importation from our laptops or whatever, where people would be making their own music. Or you could even have something through Xbox Music where you can incorporate songs that people purchase for something or something along those lines. I remember Mike mentioning that at some point.
Right. Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to hit at music, and sound in general. We have right now the one way to bring your own stuff is if you have Connect to record it through there. But obviously, you do have the limitations of Connect's recording abilities. So it's
And 10 minutes.
true. Yeah, but honestly, I actually like when I kind of scoped my stuff out, because I was thinking in terms of when I knew there was a Connect limit. I was thinking in terms of like, okay, what would be the sound limit for me to be able to get all my VO and songs into this one level? And it came out roughly at 10 minutes too. So it's actually, I think it's more of the quality.
Yeah. Because some people actually have ways to make either their technique of recording or something in code to make the music sound better, or the recording sound better than typical recordings would. I know Wirt said he has a special speaker or something he holds up to it. But he said it doesn't work with all tracks, it only works with some of them. So. And Faultless brings up a suggestion of, how about you guys make new music every week? Is that possible?
Only Wirt Andrew is possible of doing that. That guy puts out a new song like almost every day. He's a churning machine.
Well, it sounds like you should hire him.
Yeah.
After he gets out of the army, anyway.
Yeah.
So what else was on the to talk about list? Because there was something else that you mentioned that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I kind of forget as well. I mean, we kind of went off on a tangent talking about the games we would make, but it's
That's true. We didn't really
listening.
We didn't go back to
we
that
never
very
like
much.
closed that.
No,
Yeah.
no, we kind of switched into, my game needed music. So we went in that path. But there's a lot of things that are left on the to-do list for Spark, and this is really just an exercise for you guys to help prioritize, or is that the reason why this was brought up as a topic?
It's funny. Sorry, I was just looking at something that
DK Vine?
Yeah, the DK Vine thing posted. That's really good art. Whoever did that concept art's really good. Wow.
Hire them.
That's
hire all the
I gotta
people.
show this to our actually I have to show this to our art lead, because that looks just like how we put together our own art. I can see they probably copied the template for how we did our concept art, but that looks really close to how we do most of our concept art. It's pretty funny. Anyways, what was I gonna say about my game? There's also, I have this crazy idea for boss battles that would happen inside my game, where it'd be very much like Psychonauts, where you go inside the brain of something and the boss battle kind of takes place there, but it needed stuff to happen on the beat of the song too. So my own custom music plus stuff happening on the beat of that music, which, if I can get my own music, it is possible to do, I guess, currently in Project Spark. So I guess I'm not a good example to talk about the dream game I would make, because my dream game is was created and scoped with Project Spark in mind before I actually knew what was possible with Project Spark.
Well, we still don't know what's possible with Project Spark, right? Because it's still evolving. We don't know exactly what's possible with Project Spark yet.
Yeah, I mean Project Spark, like when Project Spark first launched in beta. Yeah, the other thing is like what is possible with Project Spark? You're running a very good point. What is possible with Project Spark? And that idea will continue to change every month.
Like just think do.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about the fact that people now know leaderboards are coming at some point. I think what's possible with Project Spark when that comes in will be different. Just like when we brought in the Epic Artist Role Builder pack, and you could do scrolling terrain and change terrain colors. What would be possible in Spark was lower than it was then. We brought in like all the Conquer assets. What you can do in Spark is different. So like every time you bring in new stuff, it changes what you can do in Spark. That's a pretty awesome thing about getting to work here, honestly. But the last thing I'll say about that thread about letting us know what is the dream game you're making, it's a really great thread. It's a thread that actually it's an inspiring read and again shows us the types of games you guys would build if we gave you the tools for certain things to do certain things. And so it is a thread we actually all at Team Dakota are reading. So if you want to pitch an idea for like, this is a game I've always wanted to make, or it doesn't have to be a game either. Like Instant Kafka said, a comic book, like an interactive comic book. That's a really awesome idea. So it's just like a thing that you would always want to build. Know that we are reading that one specifically. Like I read most of the stuff, but actually it's like a lot of the team is reading that one and just watching to see what people post there.
The only reason I did post in that thread is because you said Reba actually was paying attention to it, so I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get some of those races that I was asking for. Like lizard men, gnomes, elves. That'd be sweet.
I think you listed like 7 or 8 races that you'd want in your game.
I think it was more than that. Let's see.
Probably. Yeah.
So I'm on the first page, so it won't take that long to load up. But I know there were giants, satyrs, satyrs? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I've only seen it written. The goat men, basically.
Are you still playing music in the background?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Right now it's Mass Effect covers by Big Giant Circles.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Amnesia Master, you can't post on .com.
And here we are. Elves, dwarves, gnomes, trolls, not the ones that you guys have in Spark. Orcs, lizardmen, snake men, giants, dragons, cyclops, satyrs, elementals, pixies, nixies.
Nixies?
Yep.
What's the difference between pixies and nixies?
Evil versus not evil.
Couldn't you just recolor?
Yeah, but then you can have like horns or stuff like that would make them.
Okay.
Yeah. So pixies are more nature-friendly elemental, whereas nixies are more demonic.
Mm-hmm.
Did change the track because I'm not sure what. Yeah.
So people are saying the music is loud, FYI.
Oh, too late. I think it was just that one because I had to switch on to a different source. It wasn't YouTube anymore. Okay. And I had like a bunch of different classes, and each of these classes would need distinct armor, but we only have one type of knight at the moment, unless you count Hakan, who has a few variations, but they're all pretty similar. Like there is no Death Knight, there is no Dragon Knight, there's no Dragoon, there's no Beast Lord, or and there's no robes yet. So the casting classes are a bit limited as well. And there's no casting animation, so you'd have to do something with Connect or use one of their emotes that are currently exist, like cheer, yay, I'm casting a spell.
Yeah. You need to partner up. Oh wait, you have an Xbox now.
Yes, I do.
For spells, honestly, if you're doing spells, Kinect recordings actually work pretty well with those. Like recording Kinect animations. they actually work pretty well with spells. If you're, it's much harder if you're doing like an actual attack. It's possible though. I've done that. If you don't believe me, play Attack on Titan. But
No.
it's easier to do definitely with spells because you're just doing kind of a stand in place of mode.
Yeah, I guess that's reasonable, but we still don't have. And like the wizard we have right now is Zeph, who's a little bit more of a kid than
Yes.
he's not the old man that we were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And he has those giant Codian-inspired shoulder pads that kind of look out of place
Like
for
they're
a
from
wizard.
the 80s?
Yeah, a little from the 80s, a little from out of place. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we'll get more spellcaster type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dreadfully trying to figure out what that other topic was we were going to talk about. Because we were going to talk about the feeds, what they were changing. There's something else though, something like that. That was going to be in your state of Spark.
That I was telling you about. Yeah, community challenges maybe?
Community challenges, that was it. So
Yeah.
there's several of those going on right now. There's the Avatar one, which is just starting up. Then there was the
mascot one.
then there was the one that's finishing up with the voting is the Champions.
And then also a Wild West one.
Yeah, that one started up very recently, didn't it?
Yep. Which is like that's pretty cool that we got like a Wild West challenge people can take part in. You have a one where you can create like the next video game mascot. One where the one that's like really interesting from Cerebrae is the Avatar one where you just have to create an object that you feel like it represents you. That's a very interesting. That's a really interesting thing. Wild West, I've already seen some really good ones. Speaking of, I need to tell one community member, Asian Ape, about this because he's been working on this Conquer Pocket Tales thing, and he just made a working saloon piano, and he would fit naturally into submitting for that. It's really cool. He posted a picture of it. It actually, like the keys actually move up and down too.
Huh. Didn't expect that. See that coming.
Yeah. So it's like he built like a whole saloon, and then he put a saloon piano in there.
Well, I guess you never see what's coming. Self-playing piano? Yeah, I didn't see that in the framework for what people would do in Spark. Though I didn't see the people doing the recording thing way back where you could actually replay the piano after you played it the first time through.
That one's pretty cool.
Oh, that reminds me. The other thing that came up pretty frequently in the games I want to make thread was 2D stuff. More 2D support.
By the way, my video looks like it's frozen on the
Yeah,
thing.
mine does too, but it comes and goes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is frozen.
Yeah, what do you know? I don't know why.
Oh no, it's because I minimized the Skype window.
Oh. Yeah, that'll happen.
Fun things about doing a live stream. Little details like minimizing a window will make it not recorded anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really interesting reading all of the types of things people would make. I saw two different people looking for Mario Kart type racing games. It'd be super fun. You have a huge document about having Ogre Battle.
It's fairly lengthy, like 32,000 words or so. So there was one other thing I mentioned in chat. The things I wanted in .org chat before the thread started was, what would you like to have? And then Cam K. Hunter, I believe it was, said semi-collidable objects. And that was something that I had been dealing with as well.
Semi-collidable.
So, for example, in traditional side-scrollers, it was fairly common to be able to drop through a platform.
Oh, from the top and not the... Yeah.
Right, but you're able to jump through it or jump drop through, jump, but still have other enemies walking on it and still be able to bump into other things as you're descending through that one object.
Right. It'd be collidable from different directions, basically.
Right. But
Yes.
yeah. And
non-collidable from other directions.
mm-hmm.
What that basically is you like you take the mesh and you decide like this part is collidable, this part of the mesh isn't collidable, and you like independently set what parts of the mesh are collidable or not.
That'd be amazing. That would be so useful for many platformers. I imagine it would be useful for 3D platformers too, but I don't know because I haven't actually tried to ever make one or seen a 3D platformer that had one drop through the floor. But 2D definitely.
No, I actually have seen it. Someone, I think it was actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Giant Luca for Twisted Sisters made it so you could drop through. Like if you're standing on above and you hit down, you could drop through it. And also, I believe Rodrigo Bezzi with Metroid 2 Remake made it so you could drop down.
Right, but I don't think it was done as cleanly as possible if you guys would have had a functionality in there for us. Because I know that Bob has done that as well. Like he was able to make that code, but it does have some lost value in how the functionality can actually interact with other objects while it's doing that action.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just part of the wish list thing.
Oh, selectively collidable for different characters. That's actually pretty easy to do in code. I just saw that question.
Yeah.
That one you just evaluate who's nearby you, and based on who's nearby you, you become collidable for them. You switch to collidable and then you switch off. I guess like if you have like
other
two different
objects.
things that are currently both colliding at the same time, then you'd have to then that'd be hard.
Yes.
Actually, no. What you would just do is you would then make that object. I'd have to think through this.
I know Reeb had some suggestions because we were trying to do the Shadow Man where one person's standing on the other person's head, but you can still jump through them and other objects, all that stuff. But I'm not sure if he said he figured it out, but he never shared the idea or shared the code with me, so I don't know for sure. So Reeb could have been lying to us.
Huh.
Well, I guess we can talk briefly about the Game Jam results, because we did the results last stream, but we didn't actually talk about them. We didn't actually give our take on how the Game Jam went or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, Team Dakota's perspective, how was the Game Jam number 2 as it was handled by an outside community who is talking to you right now?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think we all sat and thought through it. So like the Ford Game Jam we saw as a big success in helping drive engagement and helping to get a lot of new people kind of get their feet wet with creating, and we got a few really polished games out of it. With this Game Jam, you're blown away by how many polished games came out of it. Like I think the last Game Jam, I would estimate you had maybe about 20 or so high quality levels that came out, and I would estimate with this Game Jam there were actually, because I played through all of them, and there was 90.
I played through all of them too, twice.
I know, yeah, I know, it's true. I would say there was like 90 or so that were high quality levels. It was crazy, and
That's
the
true.
amount that were like at the level of like first place last Game Jam, the amount that were at that level was like probably the top 50.
Yeah, I mean, I went through and listed out the levels that I thought should have been like top 10 worthy, that were so freaking close to being in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think you misspoke on one of the last streams where you said that the top 20 were within 1 point. It was actually the top 6. They were within 1
only
point.
the top 6? Okay.
And then the top 30 or so are within 5 points of each other.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So, everybody. I know everybody has their own opinions on like which ones should have been the top 10. And
I know.
I agree, because I wouldn't have had that be my top 10. No judge had that as their top 10.
That's what was so exciting. Like the last game jam, I will be honest that we were pretty much like after all the judging, everyone just agreed. They were like, yeah, X Zero like was just stood above the others. This game jam, everyone who played and everyone on the team, we were just like, I don't know what's gonna win. They're all so good. I couldn't even pin what would be the winner. And I myself had no. I mean, you were the one who tabulated everything, and I didn't want to know while you're tabulating what the winner was, and I had zero idea. And I'm really happy for that winner because they had such huge competition. And it was Holy Light Rider, and they are based in all the way from Reunion Island. That's so cool.
I'm so glad I'm not paying for the shipping.
Yeah.
It's like $1,000 for shipping the laptop and the backpack. So,
Yeah, and we have that pretty much. By the way, all of our top 50 winners, you're going to get prizes granted to them. We have that pretty much wrapped up um, soon. So everyone who was in the top 50 will get their in-game prizes granted them pretty darn soon. And then the top four will have stuff mailed to them.
and so the next game jam, do we have a timeline on when you guys are going to be starting that up?
No, but we will definitely be doing a next one. It'll be really interesting. But we'll talk about it as we get closer to it. It's something that we've actually had planned for a long time.
Oh, that's interesting. I figured you guys
Mhm.
would have been. I guess you did have a lot of free time in between not working on the second game jam. So,
Right. Yeah.
and I just wanted to bring up real quick. There were like two levels that I thought should have been in, like the top four. Like they were definitely in my top four. Like maybe even in my one and two. Were Beeb and Bob Adventure,
Yeah.
the investigation one, the point and click adventure. That one just blew my mind. It looked amazing, and it played extremely well for a point and click adventure in Spark. I was shocked it didn't make the top 10, but
Hmm.
I just I added the numbers together. I didn't do anything else.
I know.
And Campaign Hunters in a moment, which reminded me a lot of the Shadow Man level that I was trying to make a long time ago, but he did it in 3D, whereas Bob and I did it in 2D.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorites that you were shocked didn't make it into the top 10?
Um, let's see. A few. No, I think my number one was in the top 10. So was my number two. Um, yeah, Beeb and Bob was really high for me also. That was just such amazing art style. Um,
It
what
reminded me a
was
bit like if they took a Solar Bay and made a game inside of it, because it had a similar aesthetic to
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah, it really did. And yeah, actually, Eric and the Baker just brought it up in chat, but also the cube was really highly rated for me just because the humor of it's so good.
yeah,
Um,
and it was original take on the cube.
yeah, definitely was. God, there's just so many that there's we could take up so much more air with that. Oh, it was in the sea was in the top 10. That's right. Okay.
That was number 7 or 8, I believe.
Yeah.
That one looked amazing. Simply
Yeah.
put, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go into it, but it turned out it turned out fantastic, and congratulations to all the top 10 and really top 50 because
Yep. Really steep competition, seriously.
we needed more prizes. We needed a bigger boat.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We were again caught unaware by how much quality stuff was sent in. It's like really the game jams, the competitions, the community challenges, every single thing that you guys do and you create is like it's the cool thing is the community is raising the bar in Project Spark, and we're just our job is to give you guys the tools to continue to raise that bar. And it's was really cool seeing that kind of validated where you guys significantly rose the bar of what can be made in Project Spark with the last game jam, and
That was only
we
in three
just
weeks.
yeah, and we're just here to hopefully keep on giving you better and better stuff to make it easier for you to keep on raising that bar.
All right. So, is there any like final words that you guys would like to ask for? If you have, if so anyone in the chat has any questions for Brian, feel free to ask. And Brian, was there anything else you wanted to bring up this week?
Yeah, I think I forgot it. But I think someone brought this up earlier on in chat, but I totally forgot. What? Let's see. I'm interested what people thought about our. We went super technical on people the past two tutorial streams we've done, and went to talking about multi-brains. So I'm really curious what people have been thinking about that. We're in the past, I think we've stuck with tutorials that for beginner are easier to grasp, but with multi-brains, we just went all out, all the way to the complex stuff. Hopefully, we didn't intimidate too many people with those past two tutorials because it's really important once you understand it. It's so cool what you can make with it, but multi-brain is definitely something that uh, you it will take you a bit to wrap your own brain around it.
I actually was really impressed with the tutorials that you guys presented the last 2 weeks,
Oh, cool.
because that's the sort of thing that I think is necessary to actually take an ordinary new creator to someone who can be more efficient with their time so that they can spend more time working on larger issues as opposed to rewriting code over and over again.
Yeah, it's what you'll end up with is like the more and more you make stuff in Project Spark, the more and more you start sinking your teeth into code. And code always starts out as this really intimidating thing, and then the more you get into it, the more you're like, oh, well, this is kind of fun. And then like, oh, well, you can do this. And then the more you want to start to achieve writing beautiful code, which is just simple and done in as few lines as possible and segmented, and you can go in there and you're like, oh, this is beautiful, this does exactly what it needs to do, and it looks so great, and it does it in 8 lines. And like multi-brain helps you get that.
So, a couple of questions did come up in chat. Do you have any feedback for the card thread, which was posted by who was that posted by? But it was a card thread requesting.
That was posted by me, actually.
Oh, do you have any feedback towards your own thread?
No, I haven't read it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, it
next
was just
question.
it was just something where we're evaluating like just extra stuff we can continue to add value into different packs. And what we've seen like more recently what we've seen recently over the past few packs that we've added cards to is people really like those. So I was just curious to hear what are your kind of top cards you want, just as we were thinking through our content calendar. So yeah, it was really cool hearing about all that. I think a lot of top requests were also kind of what we were thinking would probably be the top requests too. So
And then there was me
uh,
who totally missed the mark on what you guys were talking about for scope. Where I was saying everything should be a card.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be super cool. Yeah,
if you could
but
make landscapes out of cards, if you could make boxes and houses and all that stuff, like backgrounds. I mean, pretty much everything in a 2D side scroller is essentially a card, right? So, well, typical 2D side scrollers, not Spark 2D side scrollers. But so that was my take on that.
yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, honestly, so I'll also say for people who are constant forum posters, we do read everything that is posted in feature request. I just almost never respond to it because if I respond to something and one thing and not something else, then it looks like they are gonna do that, but they might not do this. And I realized that when I just responded to like Lady Likes UK had a list of really good features, and some I knew we were already working on. So I responded back like, yeah, some of this is in the works, some of them we're looking at, and then I realized,
whoops.
well, yeah. But does that mean that everyone else's feature request is not in the works? So we read everything. I just won't post there because I don't want to make it seem like we're we're only listening to some people and we're only doing these things that some people are asking. We read every single thing. So post like your ideas and feature requests. Just because they don't get a response from me does not at all mean we don't read them. That's one of our most important things that we plow through. Like every week, every time we have content meetings, we plow through that and look at like, oh, people really like this and really want that, and I mean, we're creating stuff based on that.
And Amnesia asked a question about the UI editor, but I'm gonna guess you can't say you're gonna say you can't tell us about that yet. But do you have any timeline for when you could show everyone the roadmap for what's coming? Because we got one in the middle of beta, but we haven't had an updated one since then.
Yeah, now that a lot of people have been asking, like, Conquer was this really big thing put in Project Spark, and like, what's next? Now people know that leaderboards is coming very soon, and we have a long-term plan. We have a very long plan, really cool stuff, and we do want to share that in some way with the community. So we're putting together a way to talk about what our roadmap moving forward is, with kind of everything. And some of the stuff we will be able to give some specifics on. Some stuff will have to be a bit more vague because we're really still exploring lots of stuff. But we want to paint the picture for you of, like, over the next year, 2 years, what can you expect to see inside of Project Spark?
That long term.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to limit it to like the next 6 months or something.
No, and that's why it is going to stay more. At some point, it's going to stay more nebulous because we do really want to kind of reveal just what our ambitions are. What are the things that we're working towards? So we're working on that. We will, we do want to share something at some point. I can't give any time frame of when we do want to share that, but it is something we want to talk about. There's a lot we want to talk about to show you that the fact that we aren't talking about things coming next does not indicate that there aren't lots of things coming next.
So, when I was participating in the alpha and beta of EverQuest Next Landmark, they had a entire forum which was dedicated to their roadmap. I forget what they actually called it. It was something analogous.
Hmm.
And they would list out the order of the things that they were generally hoping for. And that order would change. And people were expecting that to change. But it was basically so that they would have to stop and they could stop answering the questions of when's water coming, when is mirror voxels coming, when is negative voxels coming, when is swimming coming, when are caves coming, that sort of thing. So that was specific for Landmark. But you can see similar questions like when is UI editor coming, when is music editor coming, when is blah 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 coming in Spark. So is there any hope for a forum post that might be evolving with the roadmap?
I don't know yet. I mean, we really are working on that, so I don't know what form it'll take the presentation of just talking about kind of quote unquote the roadmap of Project Spark.
But does it sound interesting to you to have a place on the forums for people to check in? Like, what's the priority for this? Like, what could we generally expect to be sooner than rather than others? Ever evolving list.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and
Confirmed.
see,
Brian's gonna do it.
and like I like what Mescat said. See, we're being so specific. Like, we want to share some things at some point with people.
Maybe, possibly,
Yeah.
maybe people, maybe imaginary people. It depends on who's around at the time when they disclose at midnight.
Right. Hmm.
So we told you guys all about this, it's just that none of you were here. Alright, so with that, I think we've answered all the questions in chat aside from the one lore question, which I guess we can end with. Would you like to be a Spark?
I guess they can fly. I've always wanted to fly.
So there you go, people. Doogie wants to fly, so he would like to be a
Oh,
Spark.
I'm totally going to tease Maple Platoon with this, but I just found out what the name of the creation well is, and I won't tell you. I'm sorry. We're not ready to tell you, but I know what the name of it is. I just had this discussion with someone like a bit ago. It's cool.
Herman, the Planet Smasher.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to conclude this Sparkcast. It was a little little bit short today, but not too much. Um, Next week we'll probably have more to talk about. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bet on it, especially because you're gonna be giving us some more details about leaderboards tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
And
and I can stop saying like this thing might have things which do things for things and will work with things.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll see you tomorrow at your stream time, which is 3 p.m. Pacific
Yep.
on Project underscore Spark.
Or dinner time, East Coast time.
Dinner time, 6 p.m.
Yep.
And for the rest of you, we'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week at 8 p.m. Eastern for the next Sparkcast. I believe Thomas will be joining us, but who knows?
Yeah. I'll try and get Jeff back on one of these too. He really enjoyed his time on this.
Yeah,
So,
well, we'd love to have Jeff, or especially Jeff because he's awesome, but or anybody else from Team Dakota that we haven't actually met yet.
or what about all these people in chat?
Oh yeah, so all these people in chat, they can also join as a community guest. All you need is a webcam and a Skype account, and we can hook you up. Then you
Yep.
can talk to
And
them directly and annoy them as much as you want, like me.
yeah. Um yeah, you could just get in touch with Moose here and he will I guess he'll set you up.
Yep. The fee is $500 per minute. That's not
Right.
true at all, but I will take money if someone wants to offer it. All right. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks, Brian, for joining us. Thanks to everyone in chat for joining us. Uh,
Yeah. Thanks guys.
Alright, so I stopped recording. Do you want to tell me more about the next content pack after leaderboards?
You mean dungeons?
I'm not really. I didn't actually finish streaming. I'm gonna stop now.